Good afternoon, everyone. This is the National Weather Service in Springfield, Missouri, with a weather briefing on your severe thunderstorm potential this weekend, as well as a quick look at additional active weather next week. This weekend, we do have 2 rounds of severe thunderstorms possible, beginning Saturday night, and then another round Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. With this first round of severe thunderstorms, Saturday night, the highest chance is going to be west of Springfield. We'll look at timing a little bit more closely later, but right now it looks like storms are going to form somewhere over Kansas and Oklahoma Saturday evening and then move eastward as they get into southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri. The hazards with this round of storms is mainly going to be hail. We have the highest confidence in large hail up to the size of about golf balls. However, there are also probabilities for damaging winds and very low risk for tornado, but we can't rule anything out at this point. It looks like the relative highest chance for a tornado right now looks to be across southeast Kansas, but again, that risk appears to be pretty low and pretty conditional. For round two, it's that same system as it continues to move east. We do expect redevelopment of those storms to fire somewhere across our forecast area. The highest risk is going to be across portions of the eastern Ozarks and southeast Missouri, where the Storm Prediction Center currently has an enhanced risk or a level 3 out of 5 risk. And all modes of severe weather are going to be possible with these storms. That includes large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. We do think the risk for tornadoes with the second round is a little bit higher than that first round. However, there is some uncertainty in the exact positioning of where these storms are going to develop. And part of that reason is because of we're not exactly sure how far east that first round of storms is going to get. Basically, if those first rounds of storms dissipate earlier, then that's going to increase your severe weather risk farther west for locations west of, say, Springfield, for example. However, if those storms in the first round last a little bit longer, then that's going to decrease your risk of severe thunderstorms for locations west of Springfield. Taking a closer look at our timing of these thunderstorms, you can see that during the day Saturday, there are low to medium chances of a few thunderstorms, especially across portions of the eastern Ozarks. However, we don't expect those storms to be severe. The severe risk doesn't start to increase until after around midnight for locations across southeast Kansas and far western Missouri. That's that pink dashed box. And then that threat starts to extend east overnight into portions of western Missouri. And then that severe risk starts to ramp up Sunday afternoon into at least the early evening on Sunday. That's going to be for locations across the east where we had that enhanced risk from the Storm Prediction Center. Taking a look at our confidence information for a couple of different variables, you can see that we have confidence in our location to be in the low category. And that's because we're not exactly sure how far east those storms will get on round one and how that's going to affect the storms for round two. A lot of times models really struggle with overnight thunderstorms and how long that they keep them into our area. So that's why the confidence is a little bit lower on location. However, if we're timing and just general severe risk, our confidence is in the medium category. We have a rough timeline of when we expect these 2 rounds to begin and to end, and then we do have medium to high confidence in the fact that the environment is going to be supportive for severe thunderstorms. And then low confidence for flooding risk. These storms will produce heavy downpours, but the overall system does appear to be progressive enough to limit that flooding risk. Now, I did mention that we do have an active week ahead, and so the Storm Prediction Center has already outlined much of our forecast area in a 15 to 29% risk for severe thunderstorms on Wednesday. Of course, this far out, details are a little bit more scarce, so just keep up to date with the forecast in the next couple of days because this will be a day to watch for additional severe thunderstorm potential. And then the Climate Prediction Center has also outlined much of our area for a risk of heavy precipitation in the April 5th to 6th timeframe, and then also through the 8th as well. And it looks like there's a decent signal for increased moisture across the area. And so exactly where that flooding threat is going to be the highest still remains uncertain at this time. So once again, keep up with the forecast. Just know that we do have the potential for an active week of weather ahead. That's all for this briefing. Keep up with the forecast in the next 24 to 36 hours here, as you may see those SPC categories change here in the coming hours, and make sure you have a plan in place for severe weather, for whether that's going to be hail, wind, or tornadoes. And make sure you keep up to date with the forecast.